other applications that that kind of technology and concept could be applied to. Like I feel like there's a lot of places in the world, a lot of people in the world that could definitely benefit from expressing thoughts or emotions or feelings, and they probably don't even
Mm.
have a clue as to like what how that would manifest, or even if that's a possibility. And there's different people that maybe go through hard times in their life, um, or beautiful times, things like that. And I feel like that'd just be like a way to let that side of them out, and they wouldn't have been able to do that otherwise. So I feel like there's a lot of different applications down the line.
Yeah, I feel like you could, like, people who are genetically, or like people who are mute, who can't speak. The application for this would be amazing, because if you just think about something, they're able to express it in words. I mean, I don't know how the science behind that, but I mean the basic theory is there, right?
Right, right. And I know that I speak in like these like, long abstract rants. I want to give you guys a specific example of how using this technology can make like the world a better place or a more understanding place,
Awesome,
because
awesome.
we, like I said before, just to reiterate, is the goal of all this technological innovation to me is that we can understand each other better. Like being a person with your own thoughts and living in your own world is hard enough. Like the mental health situation is getting worse. That we still haven't been able to resolve a lot of problems that have been, plaguing society for a long time, whether it's discrimination, sexism, all that. So I think this may be a good, one of the some of the work that I really look up to and admire is the Stanford University like virtual human interaction lab. They basically used VR to teach empathy and did a series of experiments that I think were very powerful. I may not be exactly right here, but they did one on actually I just pulled it up. In 2018 they did one on becoming homeless and like the human experience, and they basically pre-recorded from the perspective of a person um in a 3D camera a, the day in a life of being someone who lives on the streets or who um you know gets looked at in a certain way, and then it puts people in that perspective for an extended amount of time, and showing what it's like to look through the eyes of someone who is struggling with homelessness. And then they tie it back, and the empathy is shown through either more donations to charity. I think the most powerful one was how to experience discrimination in virtual reality. There was this video experience that they created that they put the viewers in the body of a like young black man, and then they went through the this whole day that people come up and say racial slurs or tell them to do something, or it's a whole like, I can't go through it because I haven't been in it, but it's like several hours of this. And they were shot like they did study before, like a questionnaire, like how much do you empathize with, you know, social justice for these, acts of discrimination? Have you ever laughed at a racist joke? Like all these things before, and the scores were significantly higher than afterwards. And a year afterwards, they asked them, and it completely changed these people's lives after having lived in for one day in the body of someone who was black suffering like these, you know, like racial slurs. It changed their perception completely. They empathize, and like that is empathy. I think is the kind of golden thing here, is that if we can all understand why we see the world the way we do, we're gonna at least be able to treat each other with more respect when we're different. You know, maybe I butchered that description of the study, but y'all should definitely check it out because I think that virtual reality technology, being able to put someone in a situation that makes them feel like it's real, worked wonders. It solved one of the or at least treated one of the problems I think is, most disturbing in society. So
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
that's amazing.
wait, do you remember what it was called, or is it just like this stand
It's
for?
yeah,
called
I'll send it to you guys.
Oh, cool,
Did you
cool.
see it?
I
It's
found it. Yeah, examining racism with virtual reality, virtual human interaction lab, Stanford University.
yeah,
Hmm.
that one.
It's really interesting. I was reading the description. Oh my god, this is crazy.
Go read it, read it, read it. I was going off memory. Wasn't reading it. Tell me, fill me in. What did I miss?
Here, with funding from the Brown Institute for Medium Innovation, we are using the medium of VR to examine racism. In a collection with Dr. Courtney Coburn from Columbia University, we created 1000 Cut Journey, an immersive reality experience that allows you to walk in the shoes of Michael Sterling, a black male, and encounter racism firsthand as a young child, an adolescent, and a young adult. Understanding the social realities of racism is crucial to promoting effective and collective social action. The project builds on Dr. Colburn's research and previous VHIL studies, in which we have examined how virtual reality can induce empathy for people different from oneself. I think you nailed it spot on. I mean, it's basically the same thing that you were saying.
Exactly. So like maybe I'm going to read that paper again, but I think like that is a prime example of taking that technology, and let's not just like, you know, feed corporate America and just do more data and more like gimmicks or whatever. Like let's actually solve these problems that are directly affecting people's quality of life. Um
Ooh.
I I
That's
think
awesome.
it's very promising there, but like my main motivation in getting into this stuff is like, look, I got my first computer last for my 20th birthday in December last year. Like I am not a tech person at all. I've I mean, I just had an iPad that I would draw and take notes on, and even submitted my Yale application from my iPad. Like I was so adamant against it, but I realized like this is not something to be intimidated by. It's a tool. And the more you can understand, these technologies, the more you can solve the problems that you want to change in the world. It's we can't expect that other people are going to just solve the world's problems the way we want them to. You got to get in there and learn and get your hands dirty, and um that's part of the joy I've found, at least.